At the BBQ, my wife joked, "Who wants to trade my husband? He comes with low maintenance and no ambition." Her divorced neighbor replied, "I'll take him." My wife's smile disappeared when the neighbor added, "When should I pick him up?" Final part. Living their normal Sunday morning lives. Inside, my marriage was falling apart, and honestly, I was okay with that. "You know what I realized last night," I said, not turning around. "I've been apologizing for who I am for years, making excuses for why I'm not rich enough, successful enough, ambitious enough for you. That's not true." I turn back to face them, "Isn't it? How many times have you told me I should ask for a promotion? How many times have you suggested I look for a better job? How many times have you made it clear that what I do isn't good enough?" She didn't answer. "But here's the thing. I like my job, I'm good at it. It pays well enough for us to live comfortably. And most importantly, it gives me time to actually enjoy my life instead of spending every waking moment chasing some impossible standard of success." Linda smiled. "Sounds perfect to me." My wife shot her a look that could have killed. "Nobody asked you." "Actually, I said you did yesterday in front of everyone. And my answer hasn't changed," Linda added. "When do you want me to pick him up?" The question hung in the air, like smoke from a fire. My wife's face cycled through about 6 different emotions before settling on pure rage. "Get out," she said to Linda, her voice shaking. "Get out of my house right now." "Your house?" Linda asked, raising an eyebrow. "Funny, I thought it belonged to both of you, though, given that you've been unemployed for 18 months. I'm guessing his name is the only one on the mortgage." I couldn't help but smirk at that. She was right, of course. The house was in my name only. We'd bought it before we got married, and I'd never bothered to add her to the deed. "That's it," my wife screamed. "I want her out now." "Why?" I asked calmly. "She came over to borrow sugar, remember? We haven't given her any yet." "Don't play games with me." "I'm not playing games. I'm just wondering why you're so upset about a simple conversation." Linda stood up and smoothed down her dress. "Maybe I should go. I can see I'm making someone uncomfortable." "No," I said firmly. "You're not making me uncomfortable at all. Stay, as long as you like." My wife whirled on me. "Are you out of your mind?" "Actually, I think I'm finally thinking clearly for the first time in years. She's trying to steal you from me." "How can she steal something you don't want?" "I never said I didn't want you." "You didn't have to say it. You demonstrated it in front of half the neighborhood." Linda settled back into her chair and took another sip of coffee. "This is better than cable TV." "Shut up," my wife snapped. "That's no way to talk to a guest." I said, "Guest? She's not a guest, she's a home wrecker." "A home wrecker?" I laughed. "What home? You mean the one where you spend your days complaining about your husband to anyone who will listen? The one where you've been unemployed for over a year while criticizing my work ethic? That home?" She was sputtering now, desperate to regain control. "We can work through this. We can go to counseling, can we? Because yesterday you made it pretty clear that I'm not worth the effort." "I was drunk. And now you're sober and you're still trying to tell me what to do and who I can talk to." Linda cleared her throat. "If I may interrupt this domestic discussion, I have a question." "What?" my wife demanded. "Do you even like your husband?" The question was so simple, so direct that it stopped everyone in their tracks. My wife opened her mouth to answer, then closed it again. "Of course I do. He's my husband." "That's not what I asked. I asked if you like him as a person. Do you enjoy his company? Do you look forward to seeing him when he comes home from work? Do you laugh at his jokes? Do you find him interesting?" The silence stretched on and on. My wife looked like she was struggling to find an answer to what should have been the easiest question in the world. "See, that's the difference between us," Linda continued. "I've had exactly 3 conversations with your husband, and I already know the answers to all those questions. Yes, 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 and yes, you don't know him like I do. Maybe that's the problem." Linda said gently, "Maybe you know him too well. Maybe you've forgotten to see the good things because you're so focused on what you think is wrong." I stood up and walked to the kitchen sink, rinsing out my coffee cup. "You know what? I think this conversation has run its course." "Good," my wife said. "Linda can leave and we get back to normal." "That's not what I meant." She froze. "What did you mean?" "I meant I'm done pretending this marriage is working. I'm done accepting criticism from someone who brings nothing to the table. And I'm definitely done being treated like I'm some kind of consolation prize." "You can't be serious." "Dead serious." Linda finished her coffee and stood up. "Well, this has been enlightening. Thank you for the coffee and for the entertainment." "Wait," I said, "you came over for sugar, remember?" "Oh right," she smiled, "though honestly, this conversation has been much sweeter than anything I could have baked." I went to the pantry and pulled out a bag of sugar, pouring some into a container for her. "There you go. Thank you, you're very kind." My wife was watching this exchange like we were conducting some kind of secret negotiation. "What's really going on here?" Nothing's going on, I said. I'm helping a neighbor. Linda turned to my wife with a look of genuine curiosity. Can I ask you something else? What now? Why do you want to keep a husband you clearly don't respect? Because he's mine. That's not a reason, that's possessiveness. I love him. Do you? Because love usually involves respect, admiration, support. I haven't seen any of those things from you. My wife was getting frantic. You don't understand our relationship. I understand enough. I understand that he works hard to support both of you while you sit at home criticizing everything he does. I understand that you're so unhappy with your life that you take it out on the one person who's supposed to be your partner. That's not fair, isn't it? I asked, when was the last time you said thank you for anything I do? When was the last time you acknowledged that I work 40 hours a week to pay for this house, the car you drive, the food you eat? I shouldn't have to thank you for doing what you're supposed to do. And there it is, Linda said quietly. You think he owes you everything and you owe him nothing. The truth of that statement hit like a physical blow. My wife actually stepped backward. That's not I don't. Yes you do, I said. You think being married to you is reward enough for everything I provide. You think I should be grateful that you tolerate my presence in your life. Stop twisting my words. I'm not twisting anything. I'm just finally hearing them clearly. Linda headed toward the front door. I should really go now. But thank you again for the coffee and the sugar. Anytime, I said, following her to the door. I mean that, she said quietly, so only I could hear. Anytime, I nodded. I know. After she left, I turned back to find my wife standing in the hallway, tears streaming down her face. How could you do this to me? Do what? Humiliate me, flirt with another woman, in front of me, act like our marriage means nothing. Our marriage. I laughed, but there was no humor in it. What marriage? You mean the arrangement where I work and pay bills, while you complain about everything I do? That marriage. We took vows. Yes, we did, for better or worse, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish. Tell me, which of those vows have you been keeping lately? She didn't have an answer for that either. I'm going out, I said, grabbing my car keys. Where does it matter? According to you, I have no ambition anyway. Maybe I'll just drive around aimlessly like the loser you married. Don't leave, we need to talk about this. No, we don't, we've talked enough. Now I need to think. As I walked out the door, I could hear her crying, and for the second time in 2 days. I didn't feel the urge to turn around and comfort her. Some bridges, once burned, can't be rebuilt. I drove around for 2 hours, thinking about everything that had happened. When I got back home, my wife was waiting in the living room with red eyes and a notebook in her hands. I wrote down all the things I appreciate about you, she said, holding up the notebook like it was some kind of peace offering. I sat down across from her. Let me guess, good provider, faithful husband, reliable. Her face fell. How did you know? Because those aren't things you appreciate about me as a person. Those are just functions I perform. That's not true. Read me the list. She looked down at the notebook. You work hard, you pay the bills, you're dependable, you never cheat, you help around the house. Stop, I held up my hand. Do you hear yourself? Everything on that list is about what I do for you, not who I am. I don't understand the difference, I know you don't, and that's the problem. She closed the notebook and leaned forward. Tell me what you want me to say. I don't want you to say anything. Words are cheap, you've proven that. Then what do you want? I want you to pack your things. The color drained from her face. What? You heard me, pack your things and leave. You can't be serious. This is my home. No, it's my home. Your name isn't on the deed, remember? And since you don't work, you don't contribute to the mortgage. She was shaking now. You can't just throw me out. Actually I can, and I am. But where will I go? That's not my problem anymore. She started crying again, harder this time. Please don't do this. I'm sorry, I'll change. No, you won't, you'll be good for a week. Maybe 2, and then you'll go right back to treating me like garbage. I'm done with that cycle. I love you. No, you don't. You love what I provide. You love having someone to blame for your unhappiness. But you don't love me. My phone buzzed with a text from Linda. Everything okay? Saw you drive off earlier. My wife noticed me checking my phone. Is that her? Yeah, delete it. No, I'm your wife. I should come first. I looked at her for a long moment. You should, but you made it clear yesterday that you don't want to be first. You want to be right, you want to be in control, you want to be the victim. I stood up and headed for the stairs. You have until tomorrow morning to pack your things. And then what? And then you figure out how to be an adult for the first time in 18 months. This is all her fault. She put these ideas in your head. I stopped and turned around. Linda didn't put anything in my head. She just pointed out what was already there. The difference is she sees value in what you've been throwing away. So you're choosing her over me. I'm choosing respect over disrespect. I'm choosing appreciation over criticism. I'm choosing someone who actually wants me around. I want you around only because you're afraid of being alone. That's not the same thing. I went upstairs and started pulling out suitcases from the closet. When she saw me coming back down with them, she completely broke down. Please, we can work this out. We can go to counseling. 8 years too late for that conversation. I'll get a job, I'll contribute more. You should get a job, but not for me, for you. I set the suitcases down in front of her. Start packing, I won't do it. Then I'll do it for you. I went back upstairs and started throwing her clothes into the suitcases. She followed me, grabbing things out of my hands. Stop, you can't do this, watch me, what about our vows? What about for better or worse? This is the worst, and I've had enough of it. It took me 20 minutes to pack everything that belonged to her. When I brought the last suitcase downstairs, she was sitting on the couch sobbing. Where am I supposed to go? Your sister's, your mother's. A hotel, I don't care, I don't have any money. Then maybe you should have thought about that before you spent 18 months criticizing the person who pays for everything. She looked up at me with desperate eyes. What if I promise to change? What if I prove to you that I can be better? I'm not interested in your promises anymore. I'm interested in my peace of mind. I carried her suitcases to the front door. You have until noon tomorrow to get the rest of your things. After that, I'm changing the locks. You're really going to throw away 8 years of marriage? I'm not throwing anything away. You already did that when you decided I wasn't worth keeping. As I opened the front door, Linda was walking up her driveway. She saw the suitcases and understood immediately. Need any help? She called out. My wife shot her a look of pure hatred. This is all your fault. No, I said firmly. This is your fault. Linda just had the courage to say what everyone else was thinking. My wife grabbed one of the suitcases and stormed toward her car. You'll regret this. The only thing I regret is waiting this long. After she drove away, Linda walked over. You okay? Better than I've been in years. Good for you, that took guts. No, it took self-respect, I just forgot I had any for a while. She smiled. Well, if you need anything, you know where to find me, I might take you up on that. I hope you do. As I watched her walk back to her house, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Hope. 3 weeks later, I was grilling burgers in my backyard again. But this time, Linda was helping me prepare the salad, and the atmosphere was completely different. No tension, no walking on eggshells, just two people enjoying each other's company. How's the neighborhood gossip mill treating you? She asked, tossing the salad. Mixed reviews, I laughed. Half the wives think I'm a hero. The other half think I'm a villain. And the husbands, let's just say I've gotten a lot of knowing nods and requests for advice. My ex-wife had come by twice in the past 3 weeks. The first time to get more of her things, the second time to beg me to reconsider. Both times, I'd remained firm. The divorce papers were already filed. Any regrets? Linda asked, only that I waited so long. She smiled and kissed my cheek. Well, I'm certainly not complaining about the timing. The doorbell rang and I went to answer it. Through the peephole, I could see my ex-wife standing on the porch. She looked terrible, hair unwashed, eyes red. Wearing the same clothes she'd had on 2 days ago. I opened the door but didn't invite her in. What do you want? I got a job, she said desperately, at Target. I start Monday. See, I'm trying to change. Good for you. You should have done that 18 months ago. Please. Can we just talk without her around? I could hear Linda moving around in the kitchen, deliberately giving us privacy. There's nothing to talk about. I made a mistake, one stupid joke at a barbecue. And you're willing to throw away our entire marriage. It wasn't one joke, it was 8 years of accumulated disrespect. The barbecue was just the final straw. I'll do anything, I'll sign a prenup for our next marriage. I almost laughed at that. There isn't going to be a next marriage because of her. Because of you. Her face crumpled. I heard you're dating her now. We're getting to know each other. She's not better than me. Actually, she is. She appreciates what she has, instead of constantly complaining about what she doesn't have. I can appreciate you too. No, you can't. Because deep down, you still think I'm not good enough. You're not here because you miss me. You're here because you're scared of being alone. Tears were streaming down her face. How that's not true. Prove it. Name one thing about me that you genuinely love that has nothing to do with what I can provide for you. She opened her mouth, then closed it. We stood there in silence for almost a minute while she struggled to come up with an answer. That's what I thought, I said finally. Take care of yourself. I started to close the door. But she put her hand against it. The neighbors all hate me now, she said quietly. That's not my problem. They think I'm a terrible person. Maybe you should ask yourself why. I never meant for things to turn out like this. Yes, you did. You just never thought there would be consequences. I gently moved her hand away from the door. Goodbye. After I closed the door, I stood there for a moment, listening to her cry on the other side. Then I heard her car start and drive away. Linda appeared in the doorway to the kitchen. You okay? Perfect, liar, that couldn't have been easy. It was easier than I expected. I think I'm finally done feeling guilty for wanting to be happy. She walked over and wrapped her arms around me. Good, because you deserve to be happy. So do you. I am happy, for the first time in years. I'm with someone who actually wants me around. I kissed her forehead always. We went back to the kitchen to finish preparing dinner. As we worked side by side, I realized this was what a real partnership felt like: mutual respect, shared responsibilities, genuine affection. You know what's funny? Linda said as she put the finishing touches on the salad. What? She did me the biggest favor in the world at that barbecue. How so? She gift wrapped the perfect man and handed him to me. All I had to do was say yes. I laughed. Well, when you put it that way, maybe I should thank her. Maybe we both should. Later that evening, as we sat on the back porch watching the sunset, Linda got a text message. Who's that? I asked. My ex-husband. He heard about us through the grapevine. What does he want? She showed me the message. Heard you upgraded. Good for you. Upgraded. From a man who took me for granted to one who appreciates me. Yeah, I'd call that an upgrade. I pulled her closer. The feeling is mutual. You know what the best part is? What? I don't have to pretend to be grateful for basic human decency anymore. And you don't have to apologize for being exactly who you are. As the sun set behind the trees, I realized that sometimes the best things in life come from the worst situations. My ex-wife's cruelty had freed me to find something real, and Linda was right. She had definitely upgraded. So had I. Our story has come to an end. If you've made it this far, how about subscribing to our channel? It helps us immensely. I've selected 2 other videos for you that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Feel free to click on them. I'll be waiting for you in the next story. See you soon.